So I remember years ago in the headline, Beyonce was talked about because of her rocking in a excessive rocking. Then all the conspiracies came out about her being under MK control, MK Ultra, and all that good stuff. And then you had others saying they rock, and sometimes basketball games are not that fun. So you do get in a zone. I, however, rock too, especially in church when I used to go. But one thing I could say about me rocking, and even in class and in school, I would rock. But one thing I could say about my rocking is it made me more alert, or it made me pay more attention, or I usually rock when something is good, right? I never rocked I never looked like I was in a trance when I rocked unless I was actually going to sleep. And so it struck me as interesting because I wanted to know more and I wanted to see it for myself. But as I looked at a couple of pictures of Beyonce at the game, I realized that there's this light-skinned lady with blondish hair that's always positioned behind her. Now, if you are part of the MK Ultra celebrity exposed cloning mass community, then you know that these celebrities have handlers. And that's what I tell regular people. These celebrities are not as free as they appear to be. They have more restrictions in their life than we do as regular people. But this lady is just always behind her. Now, of course, this could be an aunt or a manager or somewhat, but just look at the video at the end and notice her hand movement. So I'm from New Jersey. And I talk with my hands, especially when I'm in a conversation. And a lot of New Jerseyans use their hands, especially when they're passionate about something. And even I looked at this lady's hand movement and said, okay, this is excessive. Even someone who grew up watching Sopranos and mafia movies, because I lived in New Jersey, and I've seen them move their hands. This is a lot. And so I just want you to pay attention to her hand motion, and some of it just look suspicious. It looks as if she is casting a spell on Beyonce, and she does have Beyonce under some kind of control, because the more she moves her hands, the more trans Beyonce looks. And no one talked about this lady sitting in the back, basically pulling strings over Beyonce's head. Everybody thought Jay-Z was looking back in the teleprompter, I think you call it, to look at Beyonce. But in fact, I think he's looking at the teleprompter to see what is happening behind him. And the unfortunate thing is, again, these people have so many restrictions and not as much control over their own lives. And so he can't turn around and say, hey, can you stop moving your hand, or can you stop that for a while? He can't say anything. The only thing he can do is look uncomfortable. So just watch this lady. Look at this hand movement right here. Look at all of that clapping 3 times. Why is she clapping? No one else clapped. So it's not a video. It's not the basketball game that she's clapping. But look at that hand movement. Look at Jay-Z looking at her like, why? What is she doing? I'm sure he knows what she's doing. I'm sure he knows why she's doing it. But it doesn't take away the fact that it makes him feel uncomfortable. Look at this hand movement right here. Look at that. That's a lot. No, who is having a conversation in the middle of a loud basketball game? You sit in, you got floor seats, right? You're sitting so close to the game. So I understand the need to express yourself with your hands. But again, that conversation, it looks way too intense for a basketball game. So I think between that phone, this lady who's always behind her, the lady who's sitting aside of her, her hand motion, is all a part of the reason Beyonce looks the way she looks. That is not a coping mechanism. I believe that Beyonce is really in a trance at that point, or at that time. Maybe she was under MK Ultra, or just under her handler. Look at him looking at her. So, guys, I just want you to understand that the best person to be is yourself. We have to stop idolizing these celebrities because they're not who and what we think they are.